working. Where's it?
There we go. We're live. What's happening? I don't know what's happening here. We've only been away for a little while and it's already fucking gone to shit. Right. Welcome back to West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Dan Lane here, so we're having a bit of trouble with the fucking outlay. I don't know. I ain't got a clue how to do it. I don't know. So we'll just leave it as it is. But welcome back. It's been a lovely month off for everybody. I'm sure you've all enjoyed the football. You've all enjoyed England, watching England. But we are out now, and we are back. And just as England go out, West Ham are just about to start. And there's been a lot going on over the last month. There's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot to talk about. But we've all taken a month off and we're back. Lawless ain't back. He decides to go on holiday just as we're fucking coming back to football, which is Dan Lawless all fucking over, to be quite honest with you. But there we go. We are back. Welcome back to Friday Night Pint. I've got lemon Fanta today. But boys, before we get onto the Bowen news, let's talk. Yeah, lemon Fanta's got it. Like we're on holiday. Let's talk about England, because I'm sure we all watched it on Wednesday, and I'm sure we was all disappointed. What did you make of it?
Yeah, look, it's disappointing. It's heartbreaking because you look, we haven't played well all tournament where you get through, and when you're in tournament football and you got to play 8 games or whatever it is, you know, you're going to get games like that. And the other night, it's just the way we collapsed. We went 1-0 up, and then we just sat back. And look, Thomas Tuchel was brought in to do what Gareth Southgate couldn't, and he was paid a lot of money to do that. And look, 85 minutes, 1-0 up. If he brings the defenders on and we see out the game, he's a national hero. You know, we're in the final.
But
that's
not
football.
At 60.
But yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's disappointing. I'm more disappointed for the country, really, for the fans, because I've been out for every game and I've seen what it's like, and everyone is just in such a good mood. Everyone was buzzing, and you know, you're thinking to yourself, we can just get to that final on Sunday, you know, we've got a chance. But look, we ain't. We're out, and we've got to play that most pointless game of football tomorrow against France. I'm sure France don't want to be there either. But saying that, if we beat France tomorrow, which will be difficult, we finish third. That'll be our highest place finish since '66. It gives you something to build on. I know that sounds crazy, but it does. And yeah, look, it's heartbreaking, but look, we're used to it. We're West Ham fans and England fans. We haven't been dealt fucking good cards, have we, really?
Scott, what do you make of it?
Listen, you can't fault what he did in every game before, and probably in the like 60 minutes of that game. But that last half hour, he ruined everything he did leading up to it. You know, the decisions to sit back, he took off the pace that we had in Gordon, who was causing him lots of problems. And he just went, it was just, you know, when you used to play FIFA and you used to put ultra defensive mode on, that's like what he was doing. And
it's even worse than that.
It cost us, and you could see it was coming. And it was just like, change that, bring some pace on.
The thing sorry, Scott, I was just going to say that one thing the FA needs to do as well is they need to really back us going into tournaments, because the Premier League finishes and then they're away. There's no break. Look at Declan Rice. He was fucking on his knees. That boy has played so much football, even when he was with us. So much football over the last few years. You could see it in them. You know, you just got to start giving these players a bit more rest before the season should finish 6 weeks before a tournament. They've got to do something, because other countries do it.
Yep.
So why can't we?
I'm sure if you go back, I'm sure it was might have even been Italia 90. One of the teams pulled their players out at the club level, like before the season had even finished, because they were taking it that seriously.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But I'll tell you what I made of it. It's different manager, different tournament, same old story. England have got an inferiority complex, 100%, right? Because when I look at that Argentina team, and it's always going to be feisty, and we all see what they was holding up at the end, the flag that was holding up at the end. And I hope the FIFA have got some bollocks and start banning a couple of these players for doing that, because politics have no place in football, no place at all. You know what I mean? Like, and what they was holding up, you know, I think Rodri and somebody else got a 2-game ban for saying Gibraltar belongs to Spain. There's no difference. So, I hope the FA got some, and it's always going to be feisty because of the Falklands. It's always going to be feisty. But England have got an inferiority complex. We've got the players, we've got the team. We have got the team to match these. Messi, I know he got 2 assists, but we kept him quiet all game. The only time he come alive is when we started retreating and letting him come on. Yeah. That was it. You know what I mean? Yeah. We had his fucking number. Messi, the best player in the world. And listen, I know he's 39 or whatever he is, but we had his number, right? We've got big players. Bellingham is a big world-class player. Kane is a big world-class player. Declan Rice is a big world-class player. And even the wingers were coming into it, right? But we're like the little brother that slaps their big brother and then runs away and hopes he don't catch him. That's what we do. We hit him on for a goal, yeah? And then all of a sudden we go, oh, fucking hell, we're 1-0 up against Argentina. We're not Iceland or Norway or fucking Egypt or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, you see Egypt. Egypt went at Argentina and nearly beat them and probably should have beat them, right? And that's what we got. We got an inferiority complex, right? And it's every manager. And he was blaming the culture of England, which I don't agree with, because at the end of the day, that's what he's there for. And he's paid a lot of money, as Ryan said, to stop it, yeah? But we've got the players to go toe-to-toe with Argentina. Argentina are fucking good. They're not a good team.
This is the problem. This is the problem where I know we can all look back now at excuses and when we was winning and going through, but this is why you take a Palmer, a Foden, someone that can unlock a defence, make a pass. This Trent Alexander-Arnold, I don't know what's going on with them, but we just look so weak. And do you know what? I'll give the defence credit in this tournament, because someone that really impressed me as well was Jed Spence. I thought he had a brilliant tournament.
He had brilliant in that game and all.
Anderson come out of it, brilliant. I think there's a lot of players that can hold their head up. All right, look, the manager gambled. He made a decision and it's backfired. It's a big. If he'd have done it during the group stages, you got another game. You can try to turn it around. But when it's a semi-final of a World Cup, you're 1-0 up. I mean, but between the time we scored and the time they equalised, we had 12% possession. I think I had more of the ball than England, and I was sitting in the pub fucking miles away.
This is the problem, though, Ryan. Yeah, and this is the problem I have with it. As you say, we brought him in to do a different job. Yeah. It didn't work in the last tournament. In the last time we was in the semi-final, when we went up against Croatia, we sat back. It didn't work against Italy. It didn't work against Spain. Yeah, it doesn't work. The last manager that was here before that showed you that it doesn't work, and he still fucking done it.
That's it. He's
still fucking done it. Yeah. Exactly the same thing. 3 times before it didn't work when we've been in that position, and we're never going to have a better opportunity. You know what I mean? We ain't going to have a better opportunity than that, because that Argentina team, they were shit. They weren't good. You know what I mean? And they weren't good against Egypt, and they weren't good in the last game before that. So we're a better team.
Yeah,
we need to bring in. Do you know what I would do? Do you know what I would do right now? I would get rid of him. I would turn around and go, look, that's not what we want. See you later. Pep Guardiola, come and take this team.
Yeah, but
teach him how to play football.
Listen, would Pep take the England job? I don't think he would.
I think he would.
I don't think he would now. I don't think he would, honestly. And people say about Eddie Howe. I don't look. Tuchel. Look, people forget, right? I know. Look, we went out in semi-final. It's disappointing, but let's not forget that we went unbeaten in the qualifiers, didn't concede a goal, and this first competitive defeat is in the World Cup semi-final. We've given managers so many chances down the years. Look, there's something to build on here for the Euros. The one thing that worries me is the next World Cup. Who have we got coming through? I've grown up. You've had Lineker, then you had Shearer, then Owen, then Rooney, then Kane. Who's coming through to take over from Kane? There's no one out there. People say about Ollie Watkins, is he good enough? No, because he would have been playing in this World Cup. He would have been playing more minutes. Why the fuck Ivan Toney was even there? I don't know. I don't get why some of these players were there. But the next tournament, you're looking at someone like a Max Dowman will be more experienced. He's someone that potentially could be world class. We've seen it. He's only 15, 16 years old, but he's got the potential. He just needs to leave Arsenal, whether it's on loan, just to get more game time. But look, there's a lot to take from this tournament, I think, and it is disappointing. You get on, you're on high on emotions. It's upsetting. You're gutted. You're out. But look, we've seen it down the years, and something has to change in England. And under Tuchel, there was because I wasn't a big fan of him when he first come in. But then after watching him through the qualifier, you know me, I watch every England game. I have since I was a kid. I don't miss anything. And during this tournament, you could see, and there was a different feel. I think Gareth Southgate's got to get a lot of credit as well for what he'd done previously, But Tuchel has just now got to learn from this mistake and hope that he doesn't go into next tournament, if he's here, and he doesn't make these mistakes again, because the next tournament's at home. It's in our home patch. We need to go and win that tournament. We have to win it.
We don't win the next tournament, mate. We're never going to win a tournament. Because like you said, you look at the world-class players that we've got, the fact that there's nobody there to replace Harry Kane as a centre forward, right? Like you said, the manager is to blame for the fact that we lost because he just bottled it. He done a Gareth Southgate. It's clear and simple. Things were going right, things were working, and then he completely changed it. But he did. When you're playing well, you go 1-0 up, you're beating them. Your game plan's working over their game plan. You then don't change your game plan, and that's where
it's a game of moments. But you remember when we first scored that one that come to Kane. You remember when the defender give it away on the right? Kane takes out in his stride and bangs that away 2-0. I don't think we lose.
No,
I don't think we lose. But it is a game of fine margins. People are blaming Pickford for not getting there. I think that's harsh. I think there was just
I don't think that is, mate. I think Pickford was awful in this tournament. He made some good saves. Don't get me wrong. But you look at some of the mistakes he's made. I mean, he should have saved that first one. And you can see from Bellingham's reaction, he should have got that. I think now is time. Pickford's been a great servant. I think it's now time to look at someone like Trafford, trying to get them into the first team and build them up. Yeah. And Pickford's been brilliant for England. And he made some great, don't get me wrong, he made some fantastic saves. But then you look at the goal Norway scored. That's just misjudgment.
Yeah.
He's got to do better there. And he has cost us goals. But look, I'm not going to blame Pickford for everything. It was just one of them things. You can't allow, whether Messi's 39 or whatever, he is a world-class player and he will punish you. And I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic summed it up perfectly. He said, we lost to the hand of God in 86 and we lost to the left foot of God in 2026.
Yeah.
Because you can't look, I mean, if we played more of the dark arts, one of them goals would have been ruled out because Messi stepped on Jed Spence's foot. And if he'd have stayed on the floor, they would have gone back and looked at that because in the Egypt game, they done exactly that for Argentina. But look, it's all ifs and buts now,
But if we hadn't changed the way we set up, mate, we would have won that game. There's no one to blame.
Go on the attack, and I think we get a second. But there we go. Yeah. But from disappointment, boys, to fucking overjoyed, I am.
Can I just say one thing before you do it? Can I just say one thing? Yeah. My highlight of this tournament was sitting in that pub at 2:00 in the morning watching England play Mexico at the Azteca. It was one of the best games as an England fan that I've witnessed, and it's a great memory that I'll take, from this tournament. It was unbelievable. It was weird being in there at 2:00 in the morning. Didn't feel like that when the game kicked off. Felt like 8:00 on a Saturday night with a buzz in the pub. But what a moment, and that's something to take from this tournament.
No, it was good. It was good. I was at Box Park for everyone, and they was really good. But there we go. But as I said, from disappointment to overjoy, because Jared Bowen and Ryan, you told me a long time ago. But Jared Bowen today announced he will stay with West Ham for the upcoming championship season. He wants to get us out of it. And you got to be over the moon, boys, because did anyone really expect him to leave?
No. It's refreshing, and especially look, there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, no one was bidding for him." Bowen could have gone to a lot of football clubs. There would have been Premier League teams sniffing around him.
Well, let's just take that. Chelsea wanted him for a fact.
Let's just appreciate the fact that someone has actually been loyal, someone who's been relegated, who knows that he was. He wasn't that disappointing because he had a half-decent season, but he knows he's a captain in this football club, and he's happy here. He's settled. Why does he need to move? I'm sure there's something in his new contract, that's going to say, look, if we don't go out next season, then he'll be allowed to move. He's 30 in December, so he's still got a good few years in front of him. But I love it, and it just cements his legacy at this football club as, it's something you don't really hear about these days. Players doing that, and I hope now that there'll be players at that football club that will look around and say, yeah, do you know what? I want to stay. I want to fight with him. And I know there's rumours about Disassi as well might be coming back for the next season, which is massive because I thought he'd go on and after his performances last season. I know there'll be a lot of football players at that football club looking around thinking, do you know what? I'm sticking with my captain.
I think as well, though, mate. I think the plan that seems to be. So you see in the interview that he gave, or what he was saying, that he spoke to Kaczynski and what the plan is to go forward, and I think that's a big part of it as well. The fact that we've got a different hierarchy now in control of things, and they've got a vision that they want to implement. And he wants to be part of that. Like you said, he takes some of the blame for the club going down. But he wants to be there. And like you said, you don't see it in modern day footballers. You don't see this loyalty of players that could potentially go on and go to play European football next season. But he's chosen to stay and get the club back to where it should be. And you just can't knock him for that. Because you wish more players would have that attitude.
But it's just, you've got, I mean, I know I criticised Bowen a lot last season. And obviously there's been rumours about him, possibly being burnt out, being tired, being, the captaincy weighing too heavy on him, being injured for a lot of it. We didn't know. And I must say, I wasn't worried. I always felt Bowen would stay. But I also felt, if an offer came in and if, the club wanted to sell him, and I think it's a lot of the decision was made based on the club being sold over, because I think if the other mob were in charge, I think they would have took the money. 100%. If
Sullivan was still in charge, he'd have been touting Bowen out long ago. He would have wanted him out of the football club because all Bowen cares about is money. The other lot seem to care about the football club and care about the fans and want to get us back in the Premier League. So, it's brilliant news. It's something I've been looking forward to coming out, and I think you see the reaction of the fact. It's weird because even when I've been out during the summer and I'm speaking to other West Ham fans, there's a buzz. Even though we're in the Championship, there's a buzz around this football club at the moment. Mm-hmm. The fans have got a good feeling going into this season, and it's nice. And look, if we have to take a year out in the Championship, look, it's not going to be easy to get back up. We've got to work hard. But if we get back up, I think from what's happened over the summer with Brady, Sullivan, everyone going, Kaczynski coming in, Bowen staying, it's huge, and I'm looking forward to it next season. And there's rumours as well that Tatty wants to stay. He's asked for the number 10 shirt, which is massive. If we keep these players, I'm telling you, the Championship, we should. I don't want to say it, but
we should piss it.
What I'm going to say is we should do very well next season.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, and I think this is it. You haven't heard a lot coming out this boardroom, which is. It's a strange feeling because obviously we've got rid of the source, the leak. We had it confirmed to us who was telling everyone, and it was coming from the chairman himself, which is fucking disgraceful, by the way. But there we go. That's for another day. It's the leaks of stuff, and we haven't heard anything. And there's always an old saying, "Oh, no news is good news," right? And I was thinking to myself, well, I ain't seeing anyone sort of heading for the exit door. Even the likes of, there's a couple that are touted to go, which is Somerville and Tadibo. Somerville, and somebody said earlier on, and I'll take some comments in a minute, Somerville, refused to turn up for the kit launch, the kit shoot, which is a load of bollocks. You know what I mean? And as soon as you do something like that, I think you should be touted at the fucking door. And as I said this, I don't care if it's Dimitri Payet, Lionel Messi, whoever it is, Bobby, even if it was Bobby Moore, you don't want to be there and you don't want to do your fucking job, fuck off. You know what I mean? I don't want you here. You don't want to play for West Ham United. I don't want you playing for us. Simple as that. Because obviously you're just there for the money. And Tadibo apparently refused to play in the Colchester behind closed doors games. So for me, that's the end of him. But they're the only two that I've heard rumours of going. There's obviously been rumours of Wan-Bissaka going, but maybe a lot of them were thinking to themselves, look, there's something happening here. There's something going on here, right? It feels different because normally under Sullivan, as you say, right, he would have been leaking all sorts. He'd have seen all sorts of news about people discontent with this, discontent with that, and you've heard nothing, which is refreshing, in my opinion. Refreshing, right? But you Sullivan, and it just proves you it is Sullivan putting out all these stories. Sullivan would have been putting out stories about Wan-Bissaka not turning up for training, to Debo refusing to play, blah, blah, and there would have been about 10 players that are desperate to get out the door, which would, at the end of the day, that's the end of any fucking footballer when that starts happening in the eyes of a fan base. But you've heard nothing. Now, out of all the players that we want to keep...
Just quickly, someone like Somerville and Wan-Bissaka, they've obviously been involved in the World Cup, so they're not going to be back at training yet. I've seen a few people saying about Somerville's not been in the training videos. He's not going to be.
No, he's not going to be.
He's obviously been at the World Cup.
He's got to have a break, haven't they? They're on holiday.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? So, but they are, they're the ones that you're going to expect him to go. Somerville, I think, has had a good World Cup as well, which is going to push his price up. Listen, they wasn't mugged off over Fernandes. They got a good price for Fernandes. And I think they'll hold out for a good price for anyone, otherwise they're staying. But there's been, Diouf. Heard nothing about him, nothing about Wan-Bissaka, which is refreshing because it seems that the people that you thought was going to be heading for the exit doors have sat back and thought, well, do you know what? If Bowen signed a contract here, maybe there's a fucking, maybe there's a case to stay. Because
I think Mavropanos was linked with Arsenal as well, and the club have told him they don't know when to go, and apparently he's just said, okay. I'm not pushing a move. So
I think it's one of them, unless silly bids come in for players. We're, like I said, with the regime change and all that, we're not as in dire straits as we were when we got relegated. That's the key thing. We've gone from being this position where we have to sell to, well, we have a bit more power now because we don't need to sell unless the move is a right move for the club, which we haven't been in that position for a long time. I don't think we've ever been in that position. We're not going to have our pants pulled down, hopefully, with the sale of players. And, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. This is the thing. If we can keep most of these players in this side, like you said, we'll have a much better season. A much better season. It puts us in good stead. And we'll be ahead of most other teams with the quality of the players that we've got.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. And it was... Do you think that Bowen staying it started to turn people's heads and think, maybe there's a case there?
I mean, when you see your captain, like your captain is the one you look up to, and if you see him not jumping ship, you think, I want to fight for him. I want to play for this team. So it's a good sign. And look, Bowen's loved by the fans. He's loved by everyone at the club. I know there's a lot of people saying about, it was his father-in-law that made... Listen, if Bowen wanted to go, he would have gone. Jared Bowen would go. So just accept that someone's happy at a football club and likes their surroundings and wants to do well for this football club. Just accept it. Stop making up rumours. If he wanted to go, he would have gone. But you got to look back at as well that Nuno's now got his backroom staff. So as you said, there's a different feeling around this football club. And look, we don't want to be in a championship. We don't. We want to be in the Premier League. We want to be battling for Europe like we was a few years ago. But this is what it is. We're here because we were shit last season. We was a little bit more shitter than Spurs. And look, if we would have stayed up last season, I know it might sound mad, but Bowen might not have stayed. Because Sullivan might not have gone. You don't know how it works out. So it could be a blessing in disguise that we got relegated. So, look, long may it continue. It's good news coming out of the football club, and it's positive around the fan base, and that's what we want, So, brilliant news.
Yeah. No,
brilliant.
I'll take some comments in a second. I think he's important, Bowen. As you say, we're in good stead. I think losing nobody is as good as signing everybody, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? There's a couple of players here that Tatty will tear up that championship next season. He's built for it, and that's and I've said that that's not a diss on Tatty. He's just a hard-working striker that's got quality. He has got quality, no matter what people say, that can score goals, and he will work hard as you can, and he'll tear them defences apart.
The thing is as well, look, I was thinking this the other day, like with Fulkrug, right? We're not going to get any money for him. We're not going to get massive money. Why not keep him at a football club? Because if he can do it in the championship...
That was the next subject, right? We was going to get onto that.
I ain't seen the subject, sorry.
Sorry.
But what I'm just saying is he scored the other day in a friendly. We're not going to get a lot of money for him. If he wants to stay and fight, give him a chance, because if he goes out and scores 15 goals in the Championship next season, gets us up, look, he might not be ready for the Premier League, might not be good enough for the Premier League, but we'll cross that bridge if we get there.
Might be his level. He's had a couple of cracks here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's other players, like people just said there, like we've still got Ward-Prowse, we've still got Cornet, Alvarez. Some of these might go.
That was the next subject, so we'll get onto that after we took over these. Fulcrum got 150 grand a week game off the wage, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let me take some comments before we move on to the next subject. Bowen signing this contract has made him the first real legend I've seen at the club. He's surpassed Noble for me now. And do you know what? I'm going to agree with that. I think as soon as Ryan, I remember you telling me that in the summer. If he signs that contract and he says for the next year, that's him, legend, job for life, in my opinion. And I think that's right. I think
he's
that's
a legend anyway, isn't he? But yeah, it's right. I mean,
but that is cemented. That is cemented now. He will go on the wall.
Of course. And if he gets us up next season, if he's a big part of getting us up back in the Premier League, then the boy can't do no more, can he? Look, we all love him for that night in Prague, and we just love him for his loyalty, his goals, his assists. He's just a brilliant all-round player. He's been here 6 years now, and he's been one of our best signings in recent history.
Yeah, no, I agree. What do you reckon, Scott?
No, I'm with you as well, mate. I'm with you as well.
Yeah,
Fuck off, Scott.
Yeah, fuck off, Scott. Let me take some more comments. Hold on, sorry, I've just clicked off of it for a second. Remember when Forrest went down in the early 90s and Stuart Pearce stayed there and kept his England place? Fair play to Bowen. Do you think the England place had anything to do with it?
Well, he's probably looked at him thinking, if I couldn't get in this World Cup squad, like, if he'd have gone to the World Cup, it'll be a different story now, I think. He's probably thinking to himself, I'm probably not going to play myself in the England squad next season. I'm obviously not in his plans. Let me go and concentrate more on West Ham now, get back in the Premier League, and then I'll give him something to think about, for the Euros.
Bowen is settled here and earns £150,000 per week. Why would he leave? He's the main man, and West Ham an easy target. Because it's easy to leave. It's all right earning £150,000 a week. It's all right saying you're the main man. It's all right saying you're settled here and blah, 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 easy target and all that. Because when you go down the Championship, everything changes. You know what I mean? Mindsets change. And Bowen at his age, listen, if it had been 24, I'd have said, he's got another couple of years. But he's not. He's 30. You know what I mean? This will be his last chance to get out. And I know, and I can confirm this. Chelsea wanted him. Chelsea was willing to buy him. They didn't want to pay a lot of money for him, but I was told that the club would have accepted a low bid because of the service he's given us. So he can go and play Champions League or whatever football it is. I don't know whether they're in the Champions League, Chelsea, but whatever sort of football it is, right? And get back to Europe and get into playing Champions League football. It's an easy decision to make because nobody would have blamed him. You know what I mean? It is easy to say. If he'd have turned around and went to Chelsea, there is not one West Ham fan here that would have sort of denied him that opportunity. So it's so easy to do, to sit there and turn around and go, no, I want to, because we might not go back up. We might be shit in a Championship. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like to say here and turn around and say, no, I want to be the one that spearheads it. It's a brave decision. It's an honest decision, and it's a decision of someone that truly loves your club, truly loves it.
It's a footballing decision. It's a footballing decision over a money decision. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's put his legacy in front of his pocket. Look, don't get me wrong. 150 grand a week's a hell of a lot of money. We'd all
be earning that though, Scott.
Now. But still, even if he's earning 75 grand a week, do you know what I mean? It's a lot of money. But
listen, that is a standard Premier League wage now. He probably would have gone anywhere and got that.
Yeah, maybe exactly. And that's the thing. And he's chosen to stay where he is to prove, like you said, this was probably last chance saloon to get a big move. Yeah. I know someone in the comments said, Kane moved to Munich at 30. Kane's a completely different kettle of fish. Normally the sides that are playing European football at the top level are not looking at 29, 30-year-old players to come in. So this would have been probably the opportunity for him to go to a European club that's playing at the higher level of Europe, not the lower level of Europe, if you know what I mean, and do something. And he's chosen not to do that. And, good on him.
Apparently, Alonso says the Sarsi he can go. Apparently, he's very, very much considering West Ham, the Sarsi, I've heard. If we can keep hold of Mavro and get Disasi back, that would be massive. KWP and Scholes as first choice fullbacks. Not having anyone saying Bowen shouldn't be captain anymore. He's just shown why he should be. No more to be said on that. I still think there's, the job of it. But listen, I'm not going to be upset if he is. I still think there's a job to be done on the captain's field. I don't think just by saying you're staying should automatically make you captain. But he did say in his interview he's very proud to be captain, and I'm happy to have him as captain. Rather Diouf goes so we see more Scholes. Don't rate him at all. Somerville was interest from Roma, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Man United. Well, fuck off then, Somerville. Somerville at the World Cup, that when they were doing the photo shoot, that's not true. They were doing the photo shoot a long, long time before the World Cup because we talked about it way before the World Cup. Nicky, you chaps going to discuss the takeover today from the Czech Sphinx. All going to be quiet after the initial statement. We can do that a little bit now if you want. What have you made since it has all gone quiet? But I think it's good. It's good news that it's all gone quiet because there's, they're sorting shit out. There's a lot of shit to sort out.
Yeah, listen, no news is good news. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And I think there is a lot of good news to come out in the next few weeks. So I'll just say, listen, sit tight, and just enjoy the news.
The reason why you sit there and think it's all gone quiet and it's not good is because the other cunt couldn't shut his fucking mouth. That is the problem. Listen, I've heard stories of him emailing random email accounts that would ask him a question without even knowing who they are. Without even knowing who they are. I've heard stories that he used to do that. They used to ask him a question and he just used to answer it. Didn't even know the fuck that was emailing him. Could be anyone. Could be the opposition. Could be anything. Who's playing tomorrow? Yeah, well, I've got this. But there we go. I think this, to be honest with you, right, and I know we've been a bit spoiled with it. We're a bit spoiled with the leaks, but this is the way a football club should be fucking run. Boardroom shit should go on in the boardroom, and we shouldn't know about it until it's decided. Simple as that, in my opinion. You wouldn't change agent if it's life was sweet at West Ham. Some of them recently changed agents. You don't change agents for no reason, do you? He's obviously looking for a deal elsewhere, which is, listen, he was never going to stay. I agree with Scott. Everyone except Bowen is for sale at the right price, which is a fair position from the club. Dino, hopefully the break did him well, and hopefully we can build a team around him, but also try and get him competitions we can get promoted. I think that was a good thing as well about him not going to the World Cup. He's got a break because he did look a bit jaded last year.
He needed it.
I'll be honest with you, I'd rather he was at the World Cup, mate, with some of the fucking, like Saka was non-existent, not his fault. As I said, these players are overworked, they're tired, and Saka was injured for most of the tournament. So, yeah, I personally, I would like to have seen Bowen now, but...
Mate, you pick him all day long over Madueke. Let's be honest. How that guy got in the squad over the players is crazy.
It's interesting because I was watching the overlap the other day and they was talking about Madueke, and they made an interesting point. They said that he's too quick. He's too quick. Gary Neville used to say with Beckham had a bit of pace, but he knew how to deliver a ball at the right time. Madueke gets his head down and he's just so quick, but by the time he goes to adjust his body,
he's already out.
Scuffs it because his body is like, his strides are wrong. And when you think about it, it reminds me a lot of Antonio in a way. Yeah. Antonio was a bit of the same in his peak.
It's another footballer who's not got a lot of footballing intelligence. That's what it boils down to.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to have a good tournament. That warm-up game when he hit the post when it was open goal, it was fucking obvious. But listen, there was a reason he'd be getting picked. It's because Saka weren't fit. Simple as that. I don't think any of the wingers covered themselves in glory, if I'm honest. I think Gordon was probably the best in the end.
Yeah, Gordon done well. I think when he got dropped for that game, it gave him a kick up the arse. I thought
he's got to be the most Scottish-looking Englishman I've ever seen, to be fair.
Yeah. And obviously Morgan Rogers the other night, he done okay, but Bowen's got a nice rest now, and let's hope he's ready. I mean, he'll feature in the preseason games, obviously tomorrow. He will, but it's about getting his fitness up now.
Do you think in that statement that he put out, in the video he put out, he looks a bit fresher?
He does, he looks happy.
Yeah,
he looks happy.
Towards the end of the season,
he's been away with his family. He's had a nice break, nice holiday with his kids. You know, his missus. You know, he's had a bit of him time. You know.
Yeah.
So, and that's what sometimes players need. That, like, you look at these England players now; they're going to come back. They're going to have 2 or 3 weeks rest, and then they're back on it.
If that.
It can't be that. You're just going to. I said this earlier that Declan Rice. How old is he? 24.
No, he's a bit older than that. 26, I think.
25, 26. By the time he gets to 30, he could be completely. He could be completely fucked. Like
Rooney.
These players, these players need rest. And as I said earlier, next time we get a tournament, the Premier League has got to be set that we have enough time to give these players a break. Because I think every player after the season finishes, they deserve to have 2 weeks to themselves. Just go away with your family. Not straight on a fucking training camp and then on a plane to America for 7 weeks.
But that's the problem with these businesses, right? There's a lot of them, like, you know, there's football clubs that want to actually fucking play football. The problem is with the Premier League and a lot of the Premier League clubs and owners, all right, is that they don't worry about what the footballers are. They want to flog them until they're done. You know what I mean? And then they move on to the next one. All it worries about is look. I used to hear Alex Ferguson talking about how shit it was about how we play through Christmas and all that. But as soon as they had a fucking break, they chucked them on a fucking plane to the Far East to play a friendly over there because they wanted to do commercial deals. You know what I mean? Like, and they flogged these players. And that's the problem. The Premier League worry about money over everything, right? And believe me, right, and I would say this as well, and I will say this on this, right? I think that World Cup was a fucking disgrace, if I'm honest with you. I think it's been a fucking disgrace. The way that they've commercialized everything, the fucking ticket price. I know people over there right now, right, that have got their bank accounts are empty. And I mean empty. And I said to them, man, hey, you spent so much money. So whatever they can upcharge for, they upcharge for it. Right? And the ticket prices are a fucking joke. To get into group games, it was 900 quid. Yeah. And that is and I remember a couple of years ago in Russia, when we was in the semi-final, I was looking at tickets for the final, and the only reason I didn't buy them is because I didn't have my credit card on me, and they was $8.50 to get to the final in France, right? Was it in France?
Russia.
Russia.
Russia. Yeah. So, and that was the only reason I didn't do it is credit card. And I remember saying that for the final. Fuck, it's a lot of money, but I would pay that for a one-off in the final. I wouldn't pay it for a group game. You know what I mean? Like. And I think it's a disgrace. The fucking way that they've flouted the rules for certain countries is a fucking disgrace. And I'll be honest with you, FIFA should be outed and there should be a new tournament in his fucking place because
I'll be honest,
that red card thing over the Americans was a fucking disgrace. Yeah.
I think the biggest disgrace of this tournament is the fucking half-time show. 45-minute break at half-time in the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. Do it before the game. Do what you want. Get fucking Madonna doing cartwheels. I don't give a shit. Get Shakira parachuting in the building, whatever you want.
But this is where
45 minutes half time.
This is where FIFA need to step in and say, no, this is a game.
Yeah, but the problem is FIFA have allowed it, mate. This is the problem, the hydration break. You saw games that didn't need a hydration break, but they had to have it, and they had to have it at a certain time because they went to commercial breaks in America.
It wasn't. The reason why they done it, even in the air-conditioned stadium, because they said it wouldn't be fair. Because if the other teams are doing it, everyone's got to do it.
Yeah, but they are behind fairness, mate. But then the guy's got a red card. They didn't rescind the red card, and they let him play. So they let the Americans tell the Iranians they couldn't come into the fucking country until they played their game. That's not fair. They let America. Tell a load of people they can't come and play. There was an Ethiopian referee that couldn't come over because they wouldn't let him over, and there was one of the players. Can't remember what team it was.
Well, they didn't let what's his face in at first, did they? Party.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
every
player has a silver lining, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but you know that's the thing. But the thing is I've said this and I've said this a lot. Mexico have had 3 World Cups since 1970. America have had 2 since 94.
It's a joke.
You know, we're the home of football. You know, and we've had 1.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that UEFA, and although you talked about a lesser evil there, are every time FIFA does something like this, they are sticking their boot in, which is good, which is good for football.
Do you know the maddest thing though was that the head of FIFA had written into the contracts of the TV companies that he had to be shown every half of a match that he was
Who?
at. Who's the bald fella, the head of FIFA, whoever he is. He had to be shown every half of every game that he was at.
Yeah, prick. There we go. Let's finish off this guy. It's Roma keen on Somerville. They want to pay 38 million. We want more, of course. Get the asking price. If he doesn't want to say sell abroad, yeah, I think they've already proven that they're going to do that. Do you think they used the Fernandes money to pay back the 40 mil to the bank yesterday? It don't matter what money they use, mate. As long as they paid it back, which I'm assuming they did, it really doesn't matter, does it? Matt, apparently it will still happen. It's just taking a long time at the moment, but expectation will be happen. The announced of I don't know what the fuck that's talking about. I don't know why. Pompey sold out their 9,000 allocation, which is excellent, by the way. Allocation for Carabao Cup, which should be a great night atmosphere and hopefully start of a good cup run.
Yeah, that's good. Them selling 9,000 allocation, but let's give our fans some credit. 50,000 season tickets.
Just about to say that, right? 50,000 season tickets out of a 65,000 stadium. Yeah, still coming.
And weren't the allocation the night weren't they £15 a ticket as well? Yeah, for the cup game for away fans. You know, that's good for the club to do that as well.
I just bought Burnley 30 quid.
Do you know what I like as well? I like is that we're having a competitive game before the season starts. I think that's brilliant. I think it's a good idea. When I first see it, I thought Carabao Cup on a Saturday. What's going on? But then I thought about it. I thought, no, that's good. Yeah. But there's a part of me, and I know this is mad. I'm thinking to myself, I'd rather fucking lose it because then all we've got to concentrate on is the fucking league up until February.
Yeah.
Which we can really concentrate on and nearly almost wrap up the league by the time the FA Cup comes around. So hopefully, obviously, I want to win the game, by the way. I'm not saying I want West Ham to lose, but it would be the worst thing in the world.
Steve-O with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Let's hope the Sarsi comes back. The club should make it a priority. I think so. I think it's yeah. And Mesh with £5 super chat. Thank you very much. What positions you think we still need to buy? Well, let me talk about this because the next part of what I've got on here is the loanees coming back. And can any of these be a hero? Because we saw over last weekend we had a behind the closed door friendly, which the title of this video, by the way, should have been Pablo scores because Pablo did score, but the other scorers were Nicholas Fulkrug and Maxwell Cornet. Now, I forgot Maxwell Cornet was even at the club, but there are a lot of loanees coming back. We've got Julian Alvarez. No, I wish we had fucking Julian Alvarez. Edson Alvarez coming back, which is, touted to be going to abroad to Germany, but that hasn't happened yet. We've got Nicholas Fulkrug. We've got James Ward-Prowse, Maxwell Cornet, and there was one more, but I can't remember who it is. Anyway, we'll go with that for at the moment, right? But can any of them be the hero? Can Maxwell Cornet come out of this? The forgotten man being our new Vazte? Discuss.
Well, look, let's look at it. Is that Nuno never got to work with Fulkrug last season? Nuno hasn't seen Cornet. He might see something in them during this pre-season that we haven't seen because they were both disappointing signings. Cornet was a massive letdown. Fulkrug was as well. But look, sometimes under a different manager, different circumstances, different players around them now than what was there when they first signed for the club. Who knows? You're not going to get a lot of money for these players. What are you going to get for Cornet? You'll be lucky to get a fucking mint Cornetto for fucking Cornet. What are you going to get for Fulkrug? Nothing. You probably have to give him away. But that's not to say I'm not saying that,
I think we tried.
And I'm not saying that these are bad players because, as I said, under Nuno, he might see something. Even look, Ward-Prowse might even get a second chance under Nuno. He might have said, "Look, sorry for calling you baldy. Let's just get along with it." But look, it's good to see that these players have come back and like the even when you mentioned about Pablo, I wasn't impressed with him last season, but that's not saying I won't be impressed with him this season because this might be his level to get used to English football. Yep. Because if nothing's going to toughen you up more than the Championship.
Look at Gyökeres.
And he's come back looking like Drake.
Playing for the same team in the same thing. He went to Coventry, smashed it up there, went back to Sporting, come back to Arsenal, league winner.
The thing is, you look at Winston Reid. When we first saw Winston Reid, and then when we were in the Championship, he found his feet.
Yeah. Even like, what's his name? La Madrid, the youngster who we've signed permanently now. He's come back. He looks like he's putting a little bit of weight in a good way.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's come back like he's looking like a 3 weeks all inclusive with a little tubby gut. He looks like he's put on a bit of muscle, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe this could be like this could be a player that just, you know, just gets chucked in the first team now and takes his chance. But there's other players as well. You look at Freddie Potts. Freddie Potts has been down in the Championship before, tearing it up. He's going to be a key player next season. Mayers is going to be a key player. There's a lot to work with this squad. You look, we are going to lose players.
I think that Kante is going to be a cemented place.
Yeah, Kante, Magassa, you know, these sort of players, you know, will get a chance. And look, we're not going to keep all these players. We can't keep all these players. So there will be some going, but it's about what you're let the ones go that you don't want. Let the ones go that you don't think are going to contribute next season, because there's no point just having people just being there for the sake of it. Get rid of them. Look, we're going to have to bring in maybe one or two Championship experienced players, which will be good.
Well, they're looking at. I think they're looking at. I think what I saw today, right, is they're looking at players that can't just do a job in the Championship, but they're being ambitious. I think one of the players, who's the kid that plays for Milan, used to play for Tomori.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old England defender. Was it?
Yeah.
He
was at Chelsea. Was he at Chelsea? Wasn't
Chelsea, yeah, Chelsea player went to AC Milan. Tomori. Apparently, they're giving an ambitious bid for him if we have to lose Mavropanos or don't get Disasi back. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to look at players that won't just get us out of the Championship. They're trying to plan forward and say, right, listen, there's a pro. And I think when you look at the players that are staying, when Sam came the last time, that's what he done. Kevin Nolan was key to getting out of the Championship. He was key because we was losing Parker, right? And if we can do the same thing again, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, and we'll smash it up. But that is good planning. You know what I mean? We don't want to just buy players. I think we've done that for too long. Bought players for the now. You know, we don't need players for the now. We need players for the future.
Yeah, and this all comes to having the right plan in place. You know, I'm sure that I would hope that we're planning. Forward-thinking planning that we're going to get promoted, but I'd also hope that they'll have a backup plan if things don't go right to what we're going to be doing next season. You know, looking at both aspects of it and having, as we said, you know, with the when we done the last show with the selling of Fernandes, it allowed us to upgrade on the targets. So that tells me that they had a plan A and then a plan B, and we've now been able to implement plan B. And this is what we want to see going forward as fans, that we've got a plan, we've got a direction. You know, like you said, the players coming back online. The biggest thing that worries me with Cornet is everywhere he's gone since he's come to us, he's been injured.
He's had a bad injuries. It seems to have affected his whole career, to be honest.
The thing is with Nuno as well, his ambition, he'll have one target this season, and it's not promotion, it's winning the league.
Yeah.
It's winning the league. You know, go out, show you're the best team in that division, and let's go up. You know, it's that will be from the top to the bottom. The owners will be saying that, the manager, the players will be thinking it as well. They'll look around that dressing room and they'll think, you know what, we've got a squad good enough to go and win that Championship. Let's go and prove it. Let's go out and win it. Let's get it done in style, you know. And but look, as you said, it could go wrong. We're not guaranteed to win every game. We know that. There's going to be tough games. We've got a tough start to the season as well. Burnley away. But this, you know, you look around that squad and someone like Cornet, in my honest opinion, I don't think he will be at the football club next season. I don't think. I think they'll look to get rid of him, release him. You know, as you said, you know, he's had his injuries since he's been out. You don't even hear about him, do you? I don't even remember he was on loan at last season.
He was at
Torino, wasn't it? Someone?
Genoa, and he spent a long time injured there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, it's just about getting
it's all gone to pot from him since they disallowed that Chelsea goal, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the club are in a position though, because I don't think he's got long left on his contract, so I think it's an easy one to terminate. You know, with Fulkrug, it's obviously a bigger contract than what Cornet's on, so it may be a bit more difficult. So that's why the club will probably want to try and recoup something. But
Fulkrug's someone I would give a chance. So if he wanted to stay, I'd give him the chance. 100%.
In the right system. You know, this is the thing. In the right system, he can work, but he's just not played in the right system.
I'll be honest with you. When I saw him walking about at Bournemouth, mate, I lost all interest.
But he was obviously, we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. You know, he was out with Potter. You know, when you know it yourself, whether you're a football player or you work in an office, you're not happy at your job, you just want out.
No,
you don't want to be there.
I do understand.
You know, so it happens. And someone just said there, look, I was gutted to see Callum Wilson go as well. You know, I
understand why he did go, and I respect why he did go and all.
You understand his reason. He's gone to a good club in Brentford. There was a part of me that thought maybe the fairy tale would have been Coventry because he started his career there. He's from Coventry. So, but he's gone to Brentford, you know. So, yeah.
Somebody told me that he ain't set foot in Coventry for fucking years because he don't get on with his mother. He hates Coventry.
Offer him 65 fucking grand a week. I bet he'll go there.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, all right. We'll get
taking his mum out for fucking tea.
Yeah. The only reason Cornez is because he has a contract, more chance of me getting a game Fulkrug wants off. I'm sure they all do want off. You know, at the end of the day, as Brian just said, it's a job at the end of the day. And if they don't know they're playing, if they don't know they're going to get game time, if they don't know what's going to happen to them next season, you know, there's probably going to be. Listen, I'm going to be totally honest. Fulkrug might be a bench player next season in the Championship, and that ain't going to look good on him. Do you know what I mean?
Also, you don't know what's in the contract is what relegation clause is.
Yeah. That's it. But boys, the football is back tomorrow. I am back at the grounds all pre-season. I've got my bag packed and ready to go. I'll be at.
I thought that was a purse.
It is a purse. It's my purse.
It's not a purse. It's a satchel.
Indiana Jones has one. There's
Skittles in there.
So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to there. I'm going to Rangers. I'm going to Stevenage. I'm going to Germany. If you're going to Germany, I'll be everywhere before the season starts, before we get back for Portsmouth. So come and see me. The fan camp start again from tomorrow. But I'm quite looking forward to it. I am really looking forward to it.
It'd be interesting. It's always pre-season's always one that I like because you get to see players that don't usually play together, do you? They just chuck two random teams together. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, Southend is sold out there. You know, local sort of not a local derby, but there's a lot of Southend, a lot of West Ham fans that live in the Southend area. So yeah, it'll be good. Looking forward to it. I'm away for the Portsmouth game. I won't say I'm gutted because I'll be in a nice, hot, sunny country. But
yeah, I think you'll be all right.
I'll be all right. I'll be watching it in a bar there. But yeah, I would like to have gone to that game, to be honest. But
unless you want to stay.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm going away. I'm going away to Greece. So I'm looking forward to it. I've never been Greece. So I'm looking forward to getting away.
Nice Greece, mate. You'll enjoy it.
Beautiful.
Already booked next year's holiday, which buzzing about. Can't wait for that.
What is it? Tell us. Exclusive.
I'm going to Nashville, Memphis, and Vegas.
Lovely.
Ooh, nice, mate.
Do you know what? I'm going on a Caribbean cruise at the end of the year. How about that?
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm when I go to Memphis, I'm actually staying in the guest house at Graceland.
Are you really?
That'd be cool, mate. That will be cool.
Living a dream. So how are we going to get on tomorrow, boys, before we start packing up?
Pre-season for me is all about fitness. It's never been about results, but I want to win. I'd like to see players get their confidence. You know, if Pablo gets another goal, it'd be nice. It'd be a good game, I think. You know, it'd be a good test for both clubs. They'll be looking forward to it. We'll be looking forward to it just to get out, and the players just want to get back on the pitch now, don't they? You know, it's all right having your time off, but sometimes being around your family could get a bit too much, and you just want to get back to work.
Yeah, that's why I got my bag packed. The last time I think I went to Southend, I can't remember whether this is but when Pyatt scored.
Yeah,
remember he scored the free kicks. It was his first game, I think.
Yeah, it was his debut.
Yeah,
it's when Tilson turned around and said it evened up when he left the pitch.
Yeah. It was.
I know everyone likes the pre-season tours and that when we go abroad, but I actually like it when we stay. I think you should stay local, Ryan. I think you should stay. I think the last time we done it was under Moyes when we went to Scotland, and you know, and I thought I like that because it gives fans a bit more of a chance. You know, not everyone can afford to go to America, but then again, I do understand because you have got a fan base out in Asia and America, Australia, but every other year they should do it. They should mix it up. 1 year. What I do know,
they went to Australia last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think
We went down.
when I've done the night with Cole and Cole the other month, he said that he did say to me, if we stay up, we're going to go to Thailand on tour, and if we go down, like we've been in one of them Premier League things. No, if we go down, it would have been Scotland and staying at home. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. The Rangers game would be good.
I've got a ticket for that.
I think being at home as well, playing lower league opposition will help the players toughen up for the championship.
I think they need to bond though, Scott. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. You get these games, and you get because there's a World Cup, you don't get much time with the players. But we're going into a competitive game in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So in this camera, you're going into a competitive game 3 weeks, 4 weeks. There's no point in packing your bags and going to Australia because you've got to adjust for times. And I know they're not fucking traveling in fucking in economy like all of us, and they travel in luxury, and it's a bit less fucking stress on them. But travel is travel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether you're laying down and going to sleep, or whether you're fucking, you know what I mean? You've got to adjust the times, you've got to adjust the culture, and you've got to come back and do it all the fucking again when you get home. You know what I mean? How many times have you been on and you got shit straight away? You know what I mean? I've had it loads of times because it's just the shock to the system. So I like it.
Yeah, the good thing is as well is like Southend sold out, Stevenage is sold out. It's good for them clubs.
Rangers is
sold
out.
They earn a little bit of money, you know, and it's good that we can sort of help these clubs that are financially not as strong as us. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'd be good. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the game will be on something tomorrow. I don't know what. I think someone just said there that
they're streaming it for $5.
Yeah, $5. I think the tickets were only £3, weren't they? I was saying.
Something like that.
But yeah, no, look, I'll try to watch it tomorrow. If I don't, it won't be the end of the world, you know.
I'm sure you'll be able to find it somewhere. But yeah, that's it, boys. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. And it's back, and we're glad to be back. The football's going to come thick and fast now. And as I say, we'll be building up towards the Portsmouth game, but we will be at every friendly before we get to, for fuck's sake, before we get. What happened there?
Channel 5 just come.
Yeah,
the next one's going to be a picture of you. Yeah, you and Dan with a crown and the fucking clown.
But yeah, we will be at every friendly, so there will be fan cam. So if you go to them, come and find me, come and say hello. I always love to see you guys, and I always love to hear your opinions. But I'm looking forward to a good season. I'm looking forward to another good run of post-match pints, Friday night pints. All the content's coming back. I know we've been away for a little while, but we needed a break. You know, we was as disappointed as the players when we went down.
Go down the seafront and get yourself some cockles and mussels.
I will. I'm going to get myself a rock. I ain't had a rock for years, mate.
Mind your teeth.
A rock. I'm one of them big dummies. You know, them big dummies.
Yeah.
And they're fucking egg and bacon and all that
shit. Yeah, I'm going to get all of that shit. I might do a little vlog doing that. I might go up there, get myself a little fucking one of them whirly hats.
I cracked my teeth on a sweet the other week. I had to go and fucking have a dentist and get it done. Fucking pisses you off. When it's a fucking like cheap sweet, it costs you fucking like 180.
Was it a cough candy?
Do you know what? No, it was one of them fucking what's them fucking sweets called? Humbug things. You know the brown ones.
Oh yeah, I know the ones you mean. Yeah,
they're not worth it.
Because I ain't got no patience. I have to crunch straight through to get to the
tube. You know what? I'm worse. Do you know lemon sherbets? I'm the worst for that. I can't wait to get to the sherbet. I have to crunch.
Oh, what was that fucking sweet you give me when we went away last year? Fucking, and it tastes like it was horrible, sour.
No,
fucking bits and barley or something.
Yeah. It was lemon and barley, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember.
It was the worst sweet I've ever fucking
you
tasted
hated
in my life.
I love them, but there we go. That's because I'm getting old. Now. I'm going to be worth.
I'll spat out the window.
But there we go. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Friday Night Pint. If you're new around it, for fuck's sake, if you're new around it, subscribe. I don't know what to do. Scott, see him out.
Stop moving. What's he done?
I don't know what to do. It's not working.
Just keep talking.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just can't see you. All
right. See him out then, boys. Otherwise, because I'm fucked. I can't.
Right, that's it. Look, Nicky can't get his camera back on, but thank you everyone for joining us. As Nicky said, subscribe. If you're at Southend tomorrow, go and see him. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up, a hype. Give Scott a high five if you see him down the street. And yeah, we'll see you next week,
or
Scott.
a fiver, you might need
One
it.
thing left to say, mate. Oh shit!
Come on, your
Go on, your eyes.